Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Today we have OBI-WAN data vaults. This is basically just a big screw you to every single Cad Bane Tarkentown and Quinlan Tarkentown player, as the entire goal of this deck is to make it so they can't use Tarkentown the way they want to. They can't get that turn 1 Tarkentown choice and get up from the beginning. So it's very similar to how we see Luke data vaults, with a few of my own tweaks because I'm having lots of fun with this deck. I went with the data vault because honestly blue-green just has so many great card options that I'm indecisive and I wanted to go with a bunch of different stuff. So yeah, we'll go through this deck. Obviously we have the pretty normal cards of Battlefield Marine, just a good turn 1 3/3 unit. You get the Luke Skywalker, which definitely always want to play as a pilot, but even as a unit, not a bad choice for a turn 1. Just won't trade as well into shielded units or units that will have the 4 health. Something like a Bazine, which we're not too worried about because she only does swing for 1, but you get the Cad Ping, and in order to deal with that in a Cad deck, you have Obi-Wan Kenobi. Up next, we have the Phoenix Squadron A-Wings and the Restored Arcs, both great turn 1 space units, especially if you can turn 2 a Luke onto them, or turn 2 a Chewbacca. Very fun to use, gets you going first phase. Just watch out for those Power of the Dark Sides if you're playing against blue villainy. Other than that, Luke's lightsaber is only one of them because it's one of those things where it's like, hey, if you get it, you have a Luke coming up soon, or Luke deploys next turn, something like that. It's always fun. You get a shielded Luke, you can heal everything from him, so he's pretty safe. And it is a 3/1 upgrade for a 2 cost, but obviously if you don't get it, just put in your resources. It's okay. Up next, we got Blue Leader. This is a fun little card just for the Space Ambush. 3 cost 3/3, could be a 5 cost 5/5 with Ambush. I have really nothing special to say, but it's just a solid card, gets you out of some sticky situations, and pumps in damage fast. With the Fleet Lieutenants, we have a solid amount of Rebels in this deck, so playing Fleet Lieutenants, not hurtful. Obviously, there are some cards in the deck that don't synergize with it as well, but even just getting the attack and not getting the +2 is not the end of the world. Saves our action economy, especially when it's going to be as bad as it is when playing Obi-Wan, and every time they ping, we're going to heal 1 damage. Next, we have Village Protectors, just a fantastic early game Sentinel unit. Obviously, if we are playing against something like Sabine or even Quinlan, where they have Sabines in the deck, they trade in very well because you got the 1 damage on attack, and then they do the swing for 2. But against almost everything else, unless they're running Saboteur units, doing good. Very solid card. Keeps us in the game for another few turns, and allows us to get more going, especially with running green. We've got Yoda. I mean, it's a Jedi-esque Force deck. Can't really go wrong with Yoda. Very good. 3 cost card. He's got the Restore 2. He swings for 2, and he's got 4 health. He also allows you to draw a card when he's defeated. Up next, obviously, we have Resupply and the General's Blade. Resupply, turn 2 is the goal, especially if we already have a unit on the board that's not going to be defeated by a Ping in a Tarkentown. Especially if we're opposite lane, we're okay to trade that damage and get the resupply in just to get that leader flip turn earlier, especially against Quinlan, who's going to come out at 5 resources instead of our 6. Big thing to watch out for. We have the General's Blade just for nice little upgrade on our Jedi units. Got a solid amount of them in the deck, and for a 3 cost, being able to make our units cheaper is always a wonderful thing, and it's a 3/3 upgrade, so you can't really say no to it. After that, we have the Jedi Lightsaber. Goes on to Force units. It's very good for Obi-Wan, just so you can trade in a little bit better, and it's still 3/3 upgrade for a 3 cost. So, once again, can't go wrong with it. I love the way it works. Very fun times. Bright Hopes, just to deal with those more aggressive space decks. Hasn't been too much of a problem so far, especially when we have the space units we do and a few solid pilots. I feel like we're in there pretty well, but just for if they get the snowball rolling or if you're playing something like Vader, Bright Hope's always a great choice. Up next we have Kanan. I think he's a great 4 cost Force unit. He's a 4/5, but he's got the on attack to heal damage from your base. Obviously, he's the only Spectre unit we have, but still solid and synergizes well with the rest of our upgrades and events in this deck. We have the classic Fel the Dragon takedown combo. If it's got 5 or less health, we use takedown. If it's got 5 or more power, Fel the Dragon. Generally, obviously, Kanan's one of those things where it's like, hey, he doesn't have 5 power, but he does have 5 or less health, so you can take down him instead of the Fel the Dragon. Up next, we have Forces with Me. Once again, many Force cards in this deck. I love using the Forces with Me on Obi flip turn, because then you've got a Sentinel leader that it becomes a 6 and 9. He's got the shield, and you can swing at something such as the base or another unit, and then you can heal 1 damage and give 1 damage. It's just so much value out of 1 card. Up next, we have Chewbacca. As mentioned earlier, great pilot, especially when playing against control decks. A little bit less to deal with, and it's a fantastic turn 2 choice onto a ship because it makes them extremely tanky. We have the Aether Sprite, which is very fun against things like Vader or smaller space decks, or even Sabine, especially since they're going to be running the A-Wings. Just helps you deal with them a bit more, and then obviously you can heal the 1 damage with Obi-Wan, so trade's great. We have Rival's Fall just to deal with those leaders on their flip turns. Don't have to, and it is just a option for late game as well, but very solid card. Now, you will note that in the 6 resource spot, we do not have Obi-Wan's. I am definitely hoping in the next set that we get Obi-Wan's lightsaber, because then he will for sure be going into this deck. But right now, I do prefer to have just the other options we have going. However, if you want more Sentinel units on top of your Protectors, your Leader, your Bright Hope, just to make the game go on a little bit longer, especially in Sabine, where we get the snowball rolling, we're able to clear their board and they run out of things to do, it's still a very solid card, especially with his when defeated ability and just how tanky he is. Next we have Luke. I'm running Blue Heroism. You can't really say no to a Luke in a Blue Heroism deck. For a 7 cost 6/7 unit, being able to give a unit -6/-6 generally when he's deployed, or even if your units haven't been defeated, just the -3/-3 can get you out of some sticky spots and just help clear up the board. We've got the U-Wing Reinforcement. Obviously helps us bring out Luke's, but it also helps us bring out other things, and there's many good combos that you can get going. Just keep in mind, if you're bringing out a pilot, it will come out as a unit and not as a pilot. So, just when you're doing that math, when you're looking at your cards, that's what you got to go with. And then Home 1. Most of the cards in our deck are Heroism, so nothing wrong with a good Home 1. Actually, all of our units are Heroism units, so being able to play a unit from our discard pile, get that Restore 1 on each other friendly unit, be able to stick in the game for longer, and heal up our base a little bit, especially against things like, once again, Sabine, helps us get going. Now, we do have Ki-Adi-Mundi. If they're going to be drawing lots of cards, can't go wrong with it. Very solid 5-cost unit. He's a Force and he's a Jedi unit, so he works with our upgrades and our Forces with Me events. Once again, solid card. Confiscates just for those upgrade decks that we don't want to deal with, especially the upgrade leaders, the pilot leaders. Gets them out of there very fast. And we have the Perilous Positions just to control the board a little bit more if we feel like we're lacking in that area. But yeah, that is Obi-Wan Data Vault, and yeah, we'll play some games. Alright, so we have paired up against Quinlan Tarkentown. Fun little matchup. We're going to keep this hand. Pretty solid early game hand. Nothing really mid-game or late game, but I think we're doing okay. We are going to put down 1 Fleet Lieutenant, and I think we're going to go with Yoda. The pings are going to hurt our village protectors, but we're still going to get some solid value. Now, we're not going to get the initiative with Obi, but we're still going to be doing okay. He's going to Spark. Okay. I don't mind that. I do like the Restored Arc Luke combo. I think that's what I'm going to want to do this turn. Nah. Nah, we're just going to Fleet Lieutenant the Marine in the base. There's the red 5. Ping. We don't want him to Tarkentown that. Want him to be able to use Tarkentown as late as possible. So we do have the Chewy Restored Arc. That's an option now. No damaged unit to worry about. Not going to be a great turn for us, but still a turn. He might make our Restored Arc cost more. Or he might just name Luke. Not quite sure. He names Chewbacca. Okay. So we're just going to go into base. Base again. He'll claim. We'll play the Restored Arc and pass. Got the Luke. Chewbacca can go down. Not too worried that we're not going to be able to play him. Going to throw away the Ewing reinforcement. Nothing for him to ping. So we're just going to Luke with piloting on the Restored Arc. He's probably going to want to trade in Tarkin Town. I don't see any reason he wouldn't. Quinlan deploy, okay. We're just going to go 3 to base. Okay, I see Force Throw will probably take out our lieutenant. Though he could just swing a Kira or his Quinlan into it. There it is. We'll just swing that into base. Restoring 1, not too bad. Obviously not a great turn for us. We're not doing great with not having cards in our hand, but could always be worse. Now, I wouldn't be surprised if he red 5, Tarkin 10, and then swung Quinlan into my Luke, just to make sure I have nothing on board. Yes, red 5, into the arc. There it is. Triggers, he does do the Tarkin Town, and then probably Quinlan in. There we go. Called it. Not that I'm loving the fact that I called it, but I did call it. Yeah, home one's going to go down. Obi-Wan's going to come out. Hoping we can forces with me into his base. If I get force thrown, then that's just... Oh, there, yep. What a fun little thing. Okay, so now both of these would trade in Obi-Wan. Obviously, he has the option to play something, ping, and then send Ahsoka instead of his leader. I mean, really, that's what he should do. But what will he do? Honestly, we've only taken 2 to our base. The 2 force throws and a spark are pretty brutal, especially when we resourced Chewie. It would have been nice to keep him in, but it's okay. Not a terrible start for us. There goes the Cassian. Come in readied. We just have to claim here. Good news is we're not taking too much damage this turn. Interesting. Okay. Rivals Fallen Luke. I mean, it's what we got. I'm not going to resource either of them. I mean, could have resourced the Luke, but not really a point. Get that Quinlan out of here. And that's our turn. Oh, wow. Spark. Yeah. No, that's... Quinlan hand hate. Truly a wonderful thing. Okay. This I don't mind. Definitely should have resourced the Luke. Now what we can do is do this. We'll pay the 2 resources. We'll trigger it. And we will go into the Cassian. Wouldn't be surprised. Oh, there's the Han. Okay. Yeah. We are going to struggle to get something going here. We do have a decent amount of health on our base still, so not the end of the world, but definitely not a fun time. Okay, so we're going to put that down. We're going to have to play this first. Hope he swings with Han, or plays a unit, and then take down the K2, because we don't want him making us discard. Okay, well, I think, honestly, we should have claimed here. He has to deal with that A-Wing, so, I mean, Millennium Falcon, very possible, or even a Fireball. There, oh, there's the Millennium. Okay, you went with the 6. I was expecting the Spark Millennium, but that definitely works. Wait, he smuggled it? I'm so confused. He played Millennium Falcon. He claimed, okay, he claimed he played Millennium Falcon for this. Oh. Did he? I'm so confused. I wasn't paying attention, apparently. But, yeah. So, yeah, we definitely had a lot going against Quinlan. Struggled for sure in the mid game there. We did have the takedown for the Millennium Falcon. Or even the K2. Resupply definitely was not a great draw there, but it worked. Alright, on to the next one. Alright, so we're playing Quinlan again, which is, it's very nice for this, just because this entire thing is showing off what we can do with OB against ping decks such as Quinlan. So we're going to go down with the Village Protectors, and I think we're going to do the Lightsaber as well, because now we have the A-Wing first turn. He's probably going to ping in Tarkentan, but if he doesn't, we have Luke. If he does, that's unfortunate for him. Yeah. So definitely gives us some room to resupply this turn. However, if he does want to ping, we could just play a Chewie on. We're not as susceptible to Tarkentown, but I don't think that's what we're going to go with. Me passed. So I think we're just going to swing to base. We'll resupply. I'm not quite sure what his plan is. I'm pretty sure Quinlan... Okay. Yeah, Quinlan is normally a pretty fast deck. Lots of low-cost cards. So we are just going to play Chewie. I think just playing Chewie for now. We'll take out that red 3. Just because it's not... Actually, we'll see what he plays first. If he plays a K2, I mean, should probably take it. But if he plays something smaller, I'm not as worried. Definitely an interesting start for Quinlan. Okay, so he trades into base. Even if we heal, he can still Tarkentown it, so we are just going to send it at base. There it is. Restorer comes down. Put the Luke onto it next turn. Definitely hoping for a Forces with me on the Obi-Wan flip. We are one turn ahead as well, so we're going to flip the same turn as Quinlan, which is definitely a nice thing to have. Yeah. So he names Rivals Fall, so we can't take it as leader. Yeah, so no forces with me, but we do have... I think we're going to go OB flip first, just in case he wants to flip Quinlan. He does have Poe possibly this turn if he's running that. Plo Koon, but he doesn't have the... whatchamacallit? The coordinate. So we're just going to Luke, piloting. Might Plo Koon now. But we will survive at least one hit. Which, not optimal, but not the end of the world. Two turns away from Han. Definitely worried about that, especially if he puts some damage on Obi, but Obi will likely be dead unless we get a Forces with Me or lightsaber within the next 2 turns. There's the Force throw. He discards his own Han. I like that. That's cool. Obviously gives us a bit more to work with here. There's the ship. Sabine. All right. We will put down... we're going to put down the Marine. We will just swing into base for 5. I am expecting a Millennium Falcon into my arc this turn. If he does, perfect U-wing deploy. If not... okay, so he does that. He's trying to get the ping and trade in his A-wing. So we're just going to heal that. Okay, so we do have Luke this turn, but I'm not sure. Because Village Protectors might be a better choice. I'm going to go Luke just because... yeah, I mean, it's Luke. We're going to give the... we could take out Sabine, but I think we're going to put it on Quinlan, just so he doesn't swing. And that should be pretty much game here. He's got no way to take out Luke. Now that he's got Quinlan, and that should be GG's. Kira into Luke. There's the open fire. Okay, so when I said that should be GG's, this is why everything I say should be taken with a grain of salt. Because, as we've seen, I'm wrong quite often. Bye-bye Quinlan. He's got 1 card in his hand, so, you know, not too worried. If he's doing weird things, then it's okay. He's hoping for something here. He's grasping at straws. Will it be GG's? Does he have some way to take out both of my ships? I think not. And he left. Alright, so good games against Quinlan. Alright, so we've paired up against Kanan, a leader who's not actually out yet, but definitely looks interesting. It's a very fun looking leader, for sure. Definitely wondering how he's going to play this, but, you know. I think we're going to get rid of the Bright Hope. Turn to A-Wing. Or not turn to A-Wing. Turn to Luke. Turn 1 A-Wing. We'll probably play something like a Sabine. Turn 1. I was about to say Chopper, but different than the Hero Leader. Definitely not running the off aspect stuff. There's the Hera, okay. Definitely Luke's gonna go down. Piloting, go. 6-4 turn 2, pretty solid. It's definitely going to help us out in space. Puts a shield on the Hera first. Probably not what I would have done. I mean, probably could wait till afterwards, but if that's all he has... I think I'm just going to wait to deal with the Hera till leader flip turn. I mean, now I can village protectors. If he does have a takedown or a fell the dragon, he could play that. He's running blue-red. There's the takedown. You know what? I'm getting better at calling when I'm about to get screwed over. Probably should have played the swing first before the protectors. Yeah, really no reason to play the protectors first. It was only 2 damage to the restore, and that would have swung for a lot more. A little bit of a mistake. Should be okay. We're going up to 5. So I think... yeah... I think what we're gonna do is just the little Aether Sprite trigger in. Go. Was tempted to bring out Obi this turn, but wouldn't be able to put a lightsaber on him at the same time. Would have been a waste of resources. Like, it's okay to wait till next turn. He's got no way to get ahead on resources, so Kanan will come out at the same time. So we've got the option to heal the Aether Sprite. We can swing into base. Aether Sprite is definitely going to help us out once he starts bringing out the ghosts in space. And then on OB flip next turn, we do have the option to ping Hera for 1, heal 1 from another unit. If he swings the arc into the Aether Sprite, I'll heal it. If he doesn't, I'm actually going to leave it for now. That way on... oh. Okay. We're going to heal it, just because he does only swing for 5. Claim here. There's another Jedi lightsaber. Alright. So, you know, many things to do, many things to do. I think we're going to start this off with an Obi flip, just to see what he does. Maybe would be better blue leader, but I think I don't really want to trade this in. And in order to take out the ghost, I would have to do the ping on the Aether Sprite. Vanquish, okay. That's gonna hurt. So we're just going to play blue leader. We will ambush it in, we'll trigger that. And then we will pass on that. He might take it with the ghost, that's okay. If we can heal it though with the Obi-Wan, we'd be more than happy. He's gonna probably pay 1 for... no. I don't know if that was... I feel like he definitely should have put a shield at least on a unit. I'm guessing he doesn't have a whole lot. Okay, so he's gonna force throw. Yeah, you can have the resupply. He's gonna take the blue leader. He's probably gonna take the Luke just because it is readied. However, I am, yeah, so we will send 3. Oof, I don't know how I want to do this. I'm not quite sure. I think we're just going to send it to base. We're going to heal 1 from his Hera and do 1 to his Kanan. Big brain plays out here. Ghost in a data vault. We will just take. I'm going to take the Hera. OBI-WAN is a massive unit right now. We are going to be able to take Kanan next turn. Rivals fall his ship. Beautiful work. Yeah, we'll keep Kanan. So we can take him out with a ping this turn, swing for 7 in a base. Do that. Heal 1 damage. We'll put 1 on his Kanan. Hope he doesn't swing with the ghost. Will Rivals fall it? If he does, he's what it is. So he plays Hera. That is unfortunate. That's really just tough. Ezra. Ezra is for sure a fun looking unit. I think I'm just gonna hit base. I know it's not the best idea to do, but I'm greedy and I want to win. So I'm just gonna get this over as soon as I can. Obviously, Kanan isn't even out yet, so this isn't a fully fleshed out deck, but I feel like we're doing pretty solid against this. It's another mid-rangey deck. Blue-red is definitely a fun color combo. I feel like we'll definitely see lots of blue-red Kanan, maybe some blue-yellow, just with the specters that we already have. Oof. That's not very cool. However, I can just claim and we win here. So it's GG's. Definitely, I did want to bring out the Arc and the Chewie, but with that coming out, not a whole lot he can do. We'll see if he just leaves. Not quite sure, but yeah. So that is OBI-WAN Green. Definitely a fun little mid-range deck. Very similar in style to Luke, but I feel like it plays about the same into ping decks, which we're seeing a lot of right now with Cat, Tarkentown, and Quinlan. Definitely very fun against Sabine if you get those village protectors and the OBI-WAN. All that stuff. It's not the... I don't know what this man is saying, but yeah, we're just gonna... We'll do that. But yes, very fun deck. Works well against Quinlan and Cad. Does work pretty solid against Sabine if you get those Sentinel units down. Obviously, if you want to play Obi-Wans, the Spark Obi-Wans in the deck instead of something like maybe a Chewbacca or another higher end unit. Very highly recommended, especially just if you can get them out sooner and you get that turn 2 resupply possibility. Just many good early game options, and then once you get into mid game, you are safe. This is a mid-range deck, so playing against control, it can be very brutal, but we also do have a decent amount of aggression options to get that damage in fast as possible. We have the Phoenix Squadron A-Wings with the Lukes early game, we have the Chewbaccas to help us out. Like, we've got units that will be swinging for a solid amount in the first few turns. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.